Hey everyone, and welcome to Pokemon Productions. Today, I've got another video game review lined up for you, a game that I finished a day ago. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now then, this will be the third time I've covered Resident Evil on this channel, the last two times being Resident Evil 4 and the Resident Evil 4 Remake. The Resident Evil 3 Remake came out in 2020. And it does go by the name Resident Evil 3, whereas the original from 1999 goes by Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which is named after the titular creature that pursues you in the game. So the events of this game they start off round about 24 hours before the events of Resident Evil 2, where the T-virus from the first game has spread throughout Raccoon City, infecting all the people and turning them into those mutant zombie-like creatures. And the game stars Jill Valentine, who survived the events of the first Resident Evil in the Spencer Mansion and the Arklay Mountains. Turns out that she's being hunted by a creature called Nemesis, which has basically been dispatched by the Umbrella Corporation to eliminate any survivors and cover the tracks behind, because they were the ones who created the T-virus, and so they're behind it all. Jill does manage to escape with the help of her old friend Brad Vickers, and she eventually runs into a guy called Carlos, who is a mercenary for the UBCS, which stands for Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service. They are basically the ones who clean up everything after Umbrella creates something. They're the ones they're like pest control, basically. And the Nemesis does attack them. It turns out, and one of the members of the group, Nikolai, turns out to be a traitor, and he basically antagonizes Jill throughout the game, eventually revealing that he was hired by someone else to sabotage Umbrella, put them out of business, and he doesn't care what happens to the city. He doesn't matter if it's destroyed. He just wants to get paid. And the city does end up getting destroyed by a missile strike. And they actually do create a vaccine for the virus, but it is destroyed. Nikolai destroys it. That is something, you know. And at the end of it all, Jill vows to destroy Umbrella once and for all. So basically, this game came out a year after the Resident Evil 2 remake, so the gameplay is fairly similar to that one. It's a third-person, over-the-shoulder camera angle, and it's a shooter game. It does kind of control similar to the Resident Evil 4 remake. Of course, the Resident Evil 4 remake would come out 3 years later, and this game came out 5 years ago, so yeah. You do get your classic enemies like zombies, zombie dogs, and you also get these sort of head crabs thing that have longer ranged attacks. You also get these things called pale heads, which are which have like insane regeneration abilities. And you also get the hunters, I believe they are, like reptilian creatures with really tough outer shells, like really hard to get through. And you do actually get to return to the Raccoon City Police Department from the second game, where you do encounter a few lickers, which are like really disgusting things. Just claws and all the flesh out and the brain exposed. It's absolutely horrifying. And the Nemesis creature itself, well, I've not played the original Resident Evil 3, but I do know that in the original game, Nemesis would ambush you wherever you were. Like, if you were solving a puzzle or doing anything, you could get ambushed by him. And you can then decide whether you want to flee or fight. It's kind of similar to the whole Mr. X situation from Resident Evil 2 Remake, where he just stalks you everywhere. And once he finds you, then your best choice is to flee. Yeah. Here in the Resident Evil 3 remake, though, it can be a bit They are scripted encounters. Like you find Nemesis bursting out of a wall, and you have to escape him. And even if you do defeat him, you get a bonus item, but he never really stays dead for long. And of course, we've got all these weapons to help you along, like handguns, shotguns, grenade launchers, and a magnum, I believe. And you can also create ammo by combining different types of gunpowder, and you can also make explosive rounds and flame rounds and acid rounds for the grenade launcher. And also, Nemesis tends to mutate. There are those encounters with Nemesis where you do have to fight him. The first one being him with a flamethrower attached to his back, and the other one, then there was one where it's this like a quadruped, like clawed beast, and then the final encounter with him was just like a massive, massive creature, just absolutely insane. Though there are scripted encounters where you do have to fight him, and he doesn't pull any punches. Like, I honestly felt really stressed during the whole thing, but once you got the gist of the final fight, I honestly thought it was pretty easy. Once you got the gist of it, because you do have to just shoot those pulsating blobs on him, and then push in power sources to power a railgun, and that's how you beat him. But yeah, the gameplay, it's okay. It's just standard Resident Evil at this point. Well, in terms of the remakes, where you shoot the enemies and you also take down the zombies and all the weapons. Above all else, it's just a fun game. I did enjoy it when I did it. It was just a fantastic experience. I do recommend you guys checking it out if you want to have a good game. Then again, the Resident Evil remakes have been pretty good so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please join me next time for the next video. Take care.